In this demo, I will demonstrate to you the use of JavaScript querySelectorAll, Array.forEach, style, and className. So first of all, we define a CSS style using a document style. So we define a CSS class called Indent Text, in which the text indent property is set to 30 pieces. Then we define the paragraph selector that has to select the first letter from the paragraph. So the first letter selected from the paragraph will have the text color. So using the color property, so that the color will be hot pink. It has the padding defined, padding, and margin. The border is 2px solid border, and then it has a border radius of 8px. The font family is set to this font family, IBM Plex Mono or monospace. And it also has the font size set to 4 rem, float to the left, and it has a line height of 1. Now in our markup, we define some paragraphs. If you notice the content in the paragraph, all the words, they are in a small letter. Okay, they are in small letter. So to select all the paragraphs using jQuery, we can make use of the document.querySelectorAll to select all the paragraph elements. So paragraphs is a node list of HTML paragraph element. So because it is a node list, so we can use a for each. So paragraphs.forEach. So we want to look for each and every paragraph inside the paragraphs variable. So we want to look for each and every item that's inside the paragraphs variable. So for each of the item or element that's inside the paragraphs variable, we will call the setStyle function. So the setStyle function takes in a parameter element, so that will refer to the element that is inside the paragraphs variable. So every time this for each loops, it will take an element out from the paragraphs variable, pass into the element parameter. So using the element parameter, we can set the CSS style. So .style, .text transform, we assign the value for text transform to be capitalized. So by assigning capitalized to the text transform property, every word, the first character of each word will be in capital letter. So the first character for all the words will be capitalized. Next, in line number 67, using the element object and the element parameter, we'll set the class name property to indent text. So if you remember, indent text, we have defined indent text to be a CSS class that has the text indent property set to 30 pieces. Okay, so now let us take a look at using the browser to browse the web page to look at the output. So we open in the default browser, and you can see that this the the first letter from each paragraph, we have this CSS style applied to them. So if you notice the first letter from each paragraph, so it's in hot pink, it has a border, and it has the it also has the padding and margin, and also has the border and the border radius. Next, you also notice that for every paragraph, for the words, every words in the paragraph, you can see the first character is capitalized. So the first character is capitalized. That's because we apply the text transform property. We set it to capitalize. And then we also apply the text indent CSS plus. So we assign the text indent CSS plus to the class name. So as you can see, so it is indented. Yeah, it is indented. There's a text indentation for each of them. So if you look at the developer tools, so you can see for each of the paragraph, it is applied the text transform capitalized, and they have the class indent text. So if you look at the style, so they have a text transform CSS property set to capitalize and text indent set to 30 pieces. So using for each, we are able to select the paragraph element, each of the paragraph element that is inside the paragraphs variable. So for each of the paragraph element inside the paragraphs variable, we will execute the set style function to capitalize the first character from each word by setting the text transform property to capitalize. And we also apply the CSS style indent text to the each of the paragraph by assigning the indent text CSS class to the class name property. So that is all for this demo.